I believe that AI is going to disrupt the entire education system. I just wanted to build something around that just to help students. Like a lot of people understand that AI is not a bad thing, it's actually a good thing. We can't stop AI, like it's already entering the workforce, it's entering so many industries, and it's going to disrupt because I also noticed that there's so many flaws in the education system. It hasn't changed for the past 100 plus years.
Ronil Dubal, a 17-year-old high school student from California, is shaking up the way we study. He is the founder and creator of Studysnap, an AI-powered app that turns textbook pages and handwritten notes into instant practice quizzes and flashcards. Imagine snapping a photo and getting your own study coach in seconds.
What's the point of learning this if I'm not going to use it in the real life? At the end of the day, whatever makes you happy is kind of the most important thing you should do because that's what like makes you wake up in the day and that's what makes you have a smile on your face. It's okay if you fail. You're going to learn a lot from it.
So, Ronil, you are my youngest guest.
That's great.
Tell me all about you. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I can just give a quick introduction about myself. My name is Ronald. I am a rising 12th grade student in San Jose, California, which is in the United States. And I've always been interested in technology and education. I've built my own AI app called Studysnap, which is on the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store for students to use. And I just love technology. I like always listen to technology news. And I can see the impact that technology is having in the education space, especially AI. And I believe that AI is going to disrupt the entire education system. It already is. There's so many AI tools that are helping me and my fellow classmates study. So I just wanted to build something around that just to help students and like help like a lot of people understand that AI is not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing in education.
Brilliant. It seems brilliant to me. Just the thought of trying to create something and then eventually creating it, of course. So, who is this app for? Who can use this app?
So this app is actually available in multiple countries because I'm talking to a lot of schools and teachers in other countries. This app is mainly for students. It is a study tool, so it can generate quizzes and flashcards, all based on a student's own content, including textbook pages and handwritten notes. So it helps students study. It kind of just builds them confidence before the test. So they can just generate a quiz all based on the content they're learning like before test day, they can take the quiz and they can understand how they're doing and how prepared are they. It also helps them solve math problems, helps them solve other problems from other subjects. It can also generate summaries based on the textbook pages. So it's mainly a tool for students, but it can also be used by educators. StudySnap has a sharing feature which allows educators to share multiple choice practice quizzes that they've generated from their own textbook pages, and they can share it with other teachers and other students. Students can also share it with their classmates. So it can be used by both students and educators, but it's mainly for students.
That's absolutely brilliant and right on time, right? So, the students just take a picture of their notes or take a picture of their book. And what does the app do?
So, the students just have to take a picture of a textbook page or their notes. It can be handwritten or typed up. The AI can read handwritten notes even if it's messy because technology is so evolved now that it can, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that it can do.
Yeah. Take out the context of what the student is writing and then produce the questions and the quizzes. And what is the feedback that you're getting from people who are using it, from young ones who are using it?
Yeah, so I've asked a lot of my classmates and other students to fill out Google Form surveys that I've created. And I've gotten a lot of feedback saying that, oh, the quiz tool is very helpful. The flashcard tool is very helpful because it's very unique. There isn't a lot of apps like that that can create an interactive quiz, which is only based on their own content and not from any external sources. But I've also gotten a lot of feedback saying that, oh, this app is kind of a wrapper around ChatGPT because we already have a chat bot. It can solve math problems, similar how ChatGPT and other AI apps can. And there's a lot of popular AI apps that students are using, including ChatGPT, of course, Photomath, GothMath, Quizlet. There's a lot of AI apps that are doing the same thing. And I think that having this competition is necessary because it makes me realize that this is a very competitive space, which means that like this space is actually like it has a lot of potential because AI in education has a lot of potential for students and educators. So that's why so many companies are building tools around this because they realize that this is going to have a big impact in the future. So like it's fine if I have competitors. The only thing is that there's so many competitors, so it's really hard to get students to use my app rather than other apps.
Mm-hmm.
That's the hardest thing I've had to encounter.
Yeah, I understand. And how does your app stand out? What difference does it have? Like, what are the competitive assets?
So I think our uniqueness is our ability to generate an interactive multiple choice practice quiz based on
Mm,
a student's own content, and it's all personalized towards them. So it generates um only like the questions and answers our quiz generates are only based on what content the student provides it. So say that they gave it a textbook page, all the questions and answers generated from the quiz will be in the textbook page. It won't be from any other external source. And that's a very important thing in school because your test that you take in school is only based on what you learned in class. It's not based on any external information because there's so much information on one topic, but in school you only learn certain amount of information for a certain topic. So I think our uniqueness is our personalized interactive quiz. Also, our quiz is interactive and it's multiple choice, meaning that students can select a choice and they get like the correct answer or the incorrect, or like if they were incorrect, they'll get the correct answer and why they were incorrect. And that interactivity like mirrors a real life test. So it because I know a lot of competitor apps like ChatGPT just generates a text-based quiz, but you want it to be interactive so it mirrors an actual real test.
mhm.
Also, students love to be social. They love to study with friends, as I found in my survey that I talked to a lot of students on. And we also have a sharing feature so students can study together by sharing all their notes, all their quizzes, all their flashcards that they have generated to help them
Wow.
study.
So they can create a bank of
Yeah, so we can create like
resources.
some community.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. So you ticked this box as well. Amazing. And I'm curious, how did you come up with this idea in the first place?
Yeah, so I came up with this idea, I think around like middle of 2023, and that was around the time when AI was getting very hyped up, especially ChatGPT came out, and I saw that a lot of teachers associated ChatGPT and AI with cheating for students, but as a student myself and seeing how my classmates used it, I realized that people were using it to help them understand complex topics into way simpler forms. And I realized that AI could actually help students learn and study instead of helping them cheat. So I wanted to build something around that because I wanted to make people realize that, hey, AI is actually going to disrupt education and we can't stop AI. Like it's already entering the workforce, it's entering so many industries and it's going to disrupt the education system. So I wanted to build something around that because I also noticed that there's so many flaws in the education system. It hasn't changed for the past 100 plus years. So I just wanted to build something around that. I wanted to build something that could actually disrupt the education system. And I knew that AI was going to be the tool that would be the
Mhm.
disruptor.
And before you had the idea and the concept of this app, what were you personally struggling with as a student that led you to come up with this idea?
As a student, I've seen like a lot of my classmates and me like ask each other, "Oh, how are we gonna study for this test?" Because there's not like one process that makes you like study and get a good grade. So we were always finding like productive ways to study to get the grade that we wanted to get. And I realized that no one like had like one like scenario on like how they could study. It all like was dependent on the test. I just wanted to build like a universal tool that helps people study because what like in one of my subjects, let's just say like a foreign language like Spanish, in Spanish you have to memorize a lot of vocabulary terms. And I created flashcards by hand to help me memorize. But creating flashcards by hand takes so much time. It took me like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I wanted to build something that could like allow me to just like take a picture of my vocabulary sheet and I have flashcards generated in seconds. I can play a game for that flashcard to help me memorize. I wanted to build something like that because instead of taking time for preparation instead of actual studying, I wanted to change it. I wanted to spend more time on actual studying rather than preparing for the test. Like, yeah, like rather than preparing for materials to study for the test.
So your previous challenges, like creating all those flashcards, gave you the actual idea of how can I shorten condense time and
Yeah.
expand
Also, one
understanding.
of the biggest thing is that everyone's stressed before they're taking a test. Sometimes they're not that confident. So with our quiz feature, I want to make sure that people can actually take a mock test before they take the test, so they're more confident, which will reduce their stress levels, which will in turn help them get a better grade.
Yeah. And the fact that you can take a picture of your actual notes is what your tutor gave you, what your teacher gave you, is, it's as if you predict what your teacher is going to ask you in the actual
Yes.
test or exam. So it's so personalized. It's not the general knowledge of what you can understand about a specific topic. Great, great. It seems amazing to me. I'm so curious to try it out with my students. And what feedback are you getting from educators? Have any educators tried it?
I've had some educators try it. I've gotten a lot of feedback, especially saying that, oh, the quiz and the flashcard tool is really nice, and the ability to share it to their students is great because we don't have a lot of features that are centered around educators. It's mainly just the creation of quizzes that they can share to their students. But
Mm.
I've gotten a lot of positive feedback on that.
Yeah. Don't you think it's going to give them some idea of how they can explain some things better to their students because this is the way the app is explaining it?
Yeah, so in our app, if you sign up in our app, you can choose from a list of interests as a student what you like what are your hobbies, such as sports, like soccer, basketball, tennis, and our app can explain complex topics in real world situations. For example, let's just say a student is learning what velocity is and they don't understand it because it's kind of a complex subject. And our app already knows that you like to play soccer. So when you ask it, oh, what is velocity? Our app will explain what velocity is and it'll give an example of how velocity works in soccer terms to help you understand more deeply about it. And I think if teachers can utilize that feature, it's going to be very impactful because as a student, and a lot of students say this, is that like they sometimes ask like when they're in the classroom, what's the point of learning this if I'm not going to use it in the real life? Like history, what's the point of learning what happened in the past if I'm not going to use it in the future or the present? So I think being able to relate it to real world situations that students like sports and their hobbies, can engage them to learn what the topic is that the teacher is teaching.
That's mind blowing. Mind blowing. Amazing, amazing. And you increase student engagement because it's totally relevant to what they're doing in their personal life. And they want to learn more about it. So they're curious to learn more about it instead of have to learn about it. Amazing. And where do you see your app going? If you can reveal any new features, I understand if you don't want to reveal the new features, but if you can give us an idea of where you see the this app expanding and going.
Yeah, so right now I'm currently talking to a lot of educators in schools, not just in the US, but in other countries. I'm trying to get pilot programs so schools can pilot my app and educators can use it and students can use it. Like educators could share quizzes and flashcards that they've generated with their students. That would lead me to get a lot more feedback from more students and educators on how to improve my app, what's going on that's good, what's going on that's not working, how do we improve it. So I'm currently working on that because I want to try to partner with some schools. But I'm also thinking of new features. Like I think I'm thinking of making it more social because I know a lot of students love to be social and making studying fun would yeah, I want to like figure out how to make studying more fun. Maybe we got to make it more social, maybe add in a couple like more fun features, so I'm thinking of that. Of course, I'm like working on developing the app to make it better and improve it. But yeah, overall, it's just right now I'm just trying to gain more feedback, see how the market's looking like right now, what other apps are there out that's already doing stuff that my app is trying to do, and just learn from more apps, learn from more educators, learn from more students as well.
So it's going to look like a social media platform, but for studying, right?
I would not say it's a social media platform yet. I think maybe just maybe more
Mhm.
collaborative, like maybe students can like create quizzes together or something like that. I don't think I want to make it a social media app right now. I think we'll just stick with like just a few collaborative features, more focused on like tools and all that, but just add like a little bit more social, but not too much social that it becomes a social media.
Okay, on the technical side now, what were the challenges of building an app? How easy was it for you? You're 17, and I'm sure you know a lot more than a lot of us. But what were the challenges for you?
Um, I think one of the biggest challenges was building the app on my own in the early stages while also balancing schoolwork
Mm,
because I had to learn like how to build an app, how to work with AI tools, and figure out how to design a user-friendly experience without really any training. I haven't had a lot of experience like working for a company or like working for a big product, so I kind of had to learn how to code by myself. So I just watched a lot of YouTube videos, I watched a lot of Coursera videos, and eventually I just learned how to code from that. Another major challenge from the technical side when developing the app is that I knew that I had to make sure that the AI generated content was close to accurate and it was helpful because AI is not 100% accurate. It never will be. It's all just based on prediction. And first and I didn't like I wanted to minimize giving students false information because
mm.
that's a big challenge that a lot of companies face. So I just wanted to so I did a lot of research on different AI models, which one was great for which features, and I just kind of decided which AI model to use for different features because some AI models are good for math problems, but other AI models are good for writing. So I just had to do a
Mm.
lot of research on that.
And you had to combine models, or you had to choose one?
No, we have like different models for different features because
Mm.
each model is has a different strength and each model has a different weakness.
Mhm, mhm. And how have your family, your extended family, how have they embraced welcomed this creation, this innovation of yours?
Yeah, so they've been giving me a lot of support. Um, yeah, like I was able to also get like I'm like self-funded right now, and last summer, since I realized that my app had a lot of potential from like a lot of feedback I got from students, I wanted to scale it. So I brought on a small team of developers and a local UI UX designer to help me scale the app. It was a contractor company, so we just had developers for 3 or 4 months just to build our new Studysnap 2.0 app, which would have more features. It would and like since I coded the initial app, I wanted to make sure it was scalable, like more people could use the app simultaneously. So, yeah, so I worked with a small team of developers, front end and back end, and some ML engineers to develop AIs. So it was a great experience. I learned a lot from that.
Amazing, amazing. What the developers, they have seen so many other apps. What is their opinion on what they saw and seeing you that you are 17 and developing an app?
Yeah, so they saw that how I was using education and AI to solve a problem. So I think that was really what motivated them, and they were passionate about building what I also envisioned, which was really good because we both like we all had a similar vision and we were all passionate about working towards a similar goal.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And now thinking that you are 17 and there are a lot of 17-year-olds, let's talk about the 17-year-olds in your school. What advice would you give them, or how do you model what you're doing for them to follow?
So I think the biggest thing for 17-year-olds and like even like teenagers in general is you should follow your passion. You
Mm,
shouldn't be stuck on what you're being told if you don't like it. Because I know a lot of people stress the importance of school and they should get good grades. But I think that people should also focus on what they're passionate about, what makes them happy, because at the end of the day, whatever makes you happy is kind of the most important thing you should do because that's what like makes you like wake up in the day and that's what makes you have a smile on your face. So I think let's just say like if you want to build some technology for advice, I would say that you should just start small and just start. You should build quickly, get feedback early, which is one of the things I didn't do with StudySnap, but I learned a lot from that mistake. But
mm,
yeah, my advice is that you should build something really quickly, get feedback, and just make sure that you're able to market it well. And you got to make sure that your solution picks like it solves a problem that you actually truly care about because that's what's gonna make you like that's what's gonna motivate you to take more action. And I think another piece of advice is also make sure is that it's okay if you fail. You're gonna learn a lot from it. I've failed like multiple, like so many times. I like lost track of count for StudySnap, but I've learned so much, which is like been which has like given me the chance to like learn from it, build whatever, just like build more features. Yeah, I've just learned from a lot of mistakes and it has like helped me grow a lot.
yeah. Do you remember one specific situation where you were seeing the mistake in front of you and you were like in the deep end trying to figure out how to resolve it? Do you remember how you processed the whole situation?
Yeah, so I think one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made with StudySnap is that I developed the app and I developed a lot of features in the app. It took months to just develop the entire app, and I didn't really ask a lot of people from feedback. I didn't ask a lot of students for feedback. And when I like published the app on the App Store and students downloaded it, they said that it like looked like a lot like other competitors. Like it could do the same features as ChatGPT, Quizlet, some other apps also. And I realized that I should have gotten feedback before I even developed the app. I should have
Mm,
shown them a design of the prototype first, gotten a lot of feedback from students, and from there I would have learned more on what to build instead of what I built already, which would have already cost me like months of just
yeah.
development.
So doing market research to the exact audience that is going to use the app.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. And how did you internally, how did you process this setback when they said it looks like everything else? How much did it disappoint you, and how much did it take you? How long did it take you to bounce back?
So, I mean, of course, I was very disappointed from it because I practically wasted a lot of time just building and building without realizing that this wouldn't work because a lot of people won't use it. And I mean, I just got motivated from that setback. I realized that I should do some market research before, get some feedback, and that led me to just building a prototype, creating some surveys, getting people to look at that prototype and give me feedback on what's not working and how I can fix it. And I think that has led me on from like today, because now before I build any new feature for StudySnap, I will always ask fellow students on feedback on what I'm building next to truly understand if this feature is going to work or if it's not going to work.
Mm-hmm. And were there any moments that you wanted to quit?
Um, I don't think I've ever had like I've had like a lot of moments where I wanted to quit because I knew that it was going to be very hard to have a successful app and get a lot of users on the platform. But I always like realized that hey, that AI is going to disrupt the education system, and I always want to be a part of that because as a student, I want to have an impact in the education system because I've like already been part of it for the past like 10, 15 years, my entire childhood, and I realized that there's a lot of flaws in it, and I wanted to solve it so the future generation doesn't have to um, go through another education system that is just based on memorization and it doesn't emphasize critical thinking. So I wanted to change it because it's been the same for the past 100+ years. I wanted to change it, and I realized that my expertise in technology could help break that barrier.
Yeah, amazing. So you're motivated by that future vision. So you never think of quitting. Or if you think about it, it's really short.
Yeah.
Great, amazing. So there are a lot of education leaders who are going to be listening to this podcast, or educators. What is your invitation to them?
My invitation is for you to try my app out. Just search up Studysnap, is just one word, on the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. Download the app, try it out. I would love if you could give me some feedback. I'm always active on LinkedIn, so you can connect with me on LinkedIn and send me a message. I would also love to connect with you. Maybe we can come up with some sort of collaboration if you're working in a school or if you're just like teaching a lot of students. It would be great if we could collaborate and see how we could use my app to further help students.
I would invite educational leaders and teachers to invite you as a keynote speaker, because you're a brilliant role model for all of the students or all of the teenagers who are struggling with finding their purpose and finding their mission. Is there something that you can share, like a formula that you have used in your daily life, like something like a habit, a sequence of habits that kept you going and looking at your vision and not losing focus?
I don't have a secret formula, but I guess just like whenever you wake up, just make sure you tell yourself what you really want to achieve, what your goal is. So every day you will always continue striving and fighting for that goal, which will eventually happen if you work hard, work smart, you never give up. If you just do all those stuff and you put all the effort you have, then your dream is definitely achievable.
Wow. Yeah, that's key. That's uh, if everybody could do that, if everybody could set themselves up for this alone, then the whole day will be totally different, right? So
Yes.
eventually the future as well. So Ronil, it's been a wonderful conversation. And for this last part of the podcast, I play a game with my guests. So we're going to play the same game together now. I want you to pick one of the books and I'll explain the game.
Let's do Atomic Habits.
All right, let's do that. And give me one page number.
A page number 30.
30. All right. Let's see, and a line.
A line, line number 10.
10. All right. So I'm going to read the context. There's also a diagram here. I'm going to show you and explain. So I'm going to read this line and the context around it, and we will discuss how this resonates with whatever you're doing in your life, okay? So The diagram is talking about the three layers of behavior change. And in the center, there is identity, processes, and outcomes on the outer circle. So it says there are three layers of behavior change: a change in your outcomes, a change in your processes, or a change in your identity. And in line 10, it says the second layer is changing your process. This level is concerned with changing your habits and systems, implementing a new routine at the gym, decluttering your desk for better workflow, developing a meditation practice. Most of the habits you build are associated with this level. How does this resonate with what you're doing in your daily life?
So I think this is like talking about productivity and how to be more productive and more efficient in your habits. To relate to me, I think a lot of people focus on the outcome, which is, oh, I want to get an A on the test. And that's where a lot of traditional studying focuses, where people just cram to get a specific desired result. But I think the long-term change is where you learn, oh, how can I study for this test effectively to get my desired result? And that comes with a lot of critical thinking and problem-solving skills, which are essential for real life and in the future. So I think this whole paragraph of what you just read resonates with how you should find always like how you should always find productive and more efficient ways to get a desired outcome.
Amazing, amazing. So instead of just focusing on the outcome, focus on the process before you see the outcome. And the process is going to bring you lots of outcomes.
It'll bring you
Amazing.
a lot of knowledge also. The process will give you a
Yeah,
lot, like you'll get a lot of advice and a lot of wisdom from the process you take.
amazing, amazing. You should definitely be invited to schools for this alone. Like you bring a lot of wisdom for teenagers, and they definitely need it. And teachers need you uh, because there's so much we can learn from you. Amazing. Thank you, Ronil. Thank you for being here with me. Is there a final thought you would like to share, a final invitation for everybody who's watching?
Just a quick recap. Just connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm active there. It would be great if you could shoot me a message. We could connect. We could talk about how we could maybe collaborate, how I could bring AI into your school. It'd be great
Yeah,
if we could
make a
talk about
demo.
that.
Yes, make a
Yeah.
demonstration with the students and see it live how they can use it.
Yeah, it would
Amazing.
be great if I could just pitch my app, and pitch how AI in like your school could work to a bunch of students in your school.
Yeah. Best of luck, Ronil. I'm really curious to follow your tracks 6 months later and see how you're developing and expanding your app. Thank you for being here with me.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.